Milk tea is quite simply is tea with milk added. This creates a smoother flavor and slightly sweetens the tea. It is a popular way to serve tea in many parts of the world, and it is an easy way to change up your average cup of tea. Milk tea has been growing popularity in recent years and considered one of the next big thing in the Philippines. The study specifically aimed to record all the customers' orders, information for the customers so they can see all the records and total bill of what they have ordered and easily search for the information in case if the customer change is short. What is a business rule? A business rule is a statement that imposes some form of constraint on a specific aspect of the database, such as the elements within a field specification for a particular field or the characteristics of a given relationship. Now we have the idea of what is business rule is. We will begin the business rules for the I Love Milk Tea shop. Rule number 1. I Love Milk Tea shops can take order to the customer and get their milk tea flavor. Rule number 2. The cashier will take note the order and the staff will be the one to take the specific order. These are the entities in this diagram: the product size, customer, table order details, the toppings, the table cashier, table order, and the table item. In the product table, we have a product ID as the primary key, product name, and product quantity as an attribute. In the customer table, we have a customer ID as a primary key and customer name as an attribute. We have the table cashier ID is a primary key and a cashier name as an attribute. We have here the table order. We have order ID, date, customer ID, cashier ID. The order ID is the primary key, and we have a two foreign key as a customer ID and a cashier ID. We have a product size table. We have a size ID, size, price, consumed kilogram, and the size ID as the primary key. We have the table order details. The order details is a primary key, an order ID, product ID, size ID, price, quantity, and we have a three foreign key as an order ID, product ID, and size ID. In the table toppings, we have toppings ID as a primary key, and the order details ID and item ID as a foreign key, and we have a label as a attributes. In the table item, we have an item ID as a primary key, and we have a two attributes as an item and quantity.